So first of all, again, thank you for being with me today to answer a couple of questions. I'm very excited to have you here.
No problem at all. Happy to do it.
First, I think if you could introduce yourself and just talk about the band for just a moment for everybody.
Sure. My name is Johan Brandberg, vocalist in Meadows End. We've been playing together with this lineup since 2008 or 9, something like that. But the band was formed earlier than that, in 97, by Jan and Mats and a couple other dudes. But I guess the beginning was rough for the band. Members was dropping off and coming and going a little bit. And Jan went to university to study a couple of years, so it was pretty much on hiatus, you would call it. So it wasn't really until 2009 the work was a pretty steady lineup, I guess. So since then we have released 4 full-length albums, and not that many live shows, but a couple here and there.
Okay. Well, first of all, again, people who are familiar with my channel know that I kind of found you guys out of nowhere for me. And, I'll say that your style of music has traditionally not been what I've listened to, but there was just something about the Grand Antiquation that grabbed me that I really loved. So I'm really excited to talk about this album. I guess, first of all, if you could take me through a little bit of the creative process, how the album came to be.
It has been pretty much the same thing since the beginning. I joined the band, is that Jan comes up with a great idea, and we evaluate, and we take our members in the band take our thing into it and make it hold together a song. But it's usually Jan's kind of idea, and then we progress, and it turns out to a song, pretty much. And we are very democratic band. We are good to listen to each other's ideas and stuff. So yeah, pretty much that's how it works.
So I noticed, because after I listened to this album, I went back and listened to Sojourn, which I really love that one as well. But they're different. They're 2 totally different styles of an album. So what was, I guess, what was the difference for you guys in this one?
Since Sojourn was a re-recording kind of, with pretty much all different members in it, we could put our own approach, the new members, so to speak, and really the first recordings were pretty good. They were pretty good musicians already done, but really trying to step up and make it even better to reach the full potential of songs, because they are really good ideas from the beginning and great melodies. So yeah, just try to enhance the legacy, kind of, you might say. But the big difference between this is that the whole recording production setup was totally different. Took a lot longer time to develop the new songs to the Grand Antiquation, and it took a little bit longer time, but we really focused on making good songs structure-wise. We really focus on chorus and where to put the verses, and so to speak, build the structure and building to a good song. It was a little bit different that way.
So I feel like, I'm sorry, I feel like Sojourn was like a concept album kind of the whole way through, whereas Grand Antiquation was more of a standard setup of an album. Is that accurate?
Yes. That's accurate. Precise. Okay. It's a whole a long story written by Jan from the beginning. All the songs is connected to a whole. You might say it's a bigger novel kind of thing. let's build it together. So that's what I'm not used to is that Johan has a way to put sentences together in a song, and they're usually very long, many words in a follow, and you have to have big lungs to try to fill them out. While my approach is that I keep it pretty short, but with a more frequency kind of way to make lyrics to a song, kind of. But it's always good with new challenges and new way to approach music, and I appreciate that. But the new songs, lyric-wise, was Mats did I think he made 2 songs lyric-wise, and he has a way of seeing the world how it is, and Johan has his way, and I have my way. And in the beginning, I was just a regular. Before I joined the Meadows End, I was pretty much just a death metal vocalist, writing about zombies and more horror-like things. So I would like to say, since I joined Meadows End, I have evolved and tried to see more what affects me in the world and try to write about it. So, yeah, that's a good thing to join Meadows End, just because I just have progressed a lot. But lyric-wise, I would like to say that it's a lot about mental issues that's going on. That's on the topic pretty much around the world, about depression and such things, among other things as well. But while I write a little bit, it could be political, but objective bias, it's neutral. So
Yeah.
I'm not taking sides politically, but I don't want to get there, if you know what I mean.
Well, one thing you mentioned, you talked about vocals, and again, kind of going back to how I discovered your band for myself. I think for me, there are lots of death metal bands out there. A lot of folks who can growl and scream, and but for me, there has to be some kind of different level in there to attract me. And there was something about Meadows End. There's a different layer. There's complexity. There's something in there that's not just hammering you over the head death metal. It's beautiful and complex, I think.
It's the same thing there as the lyrics wise. I felt that I have to progress to evolve with the band as well. So that could be a big thing to me, is trying to evolve, just bringing in tones into the growl. So the choruses gets more attractive, easy listening kind of way, but not too easy listening, still growling. So but yeah, it's like I try to evolve there as well, and I have big influences are Mortis and Marduk. That's typical growling, but it's like a whole different level, and like Travis Ryan and Cattle Decapitation. That's another big influence, and I would like to say he's the best growler out there, because he tries to progress and get better and better, and not just stay in the same track.
Right.
So yeah, that's about it.
So was growling something that the style, did it come naturally to you? Did you really have to work at it? How did that work for you?
That's something I was really interested in music, but I didn't have the patience to really learn an instrument. I got a guitar, but it was just I listened to music and tried to make own music and put tones to it. But I never was really interested in learning other people's songs. But that stagnated, and I would like to say I got more and more interested in just singing, growling, and I was just my early 20s when a local band just asked me, they know we had the same musical taste, if I could come to their rehearsal and try out a Dimmu Borgir song. I was I was drunk and I said yes. That's how it started pretty much. But it took at least a couple of years to really, in my book, get decent at least. Because just you have to build up your own. You have to start learning and have influences is a big thing. A little bit you're trying to sound like them, but have your own approach, and that comes later, I guess. Yeah.
Well, I guess on that note, what are some more of your influences? And maybe if you could expand that into some of your bandmates' influence as well. I hear a little bit of prog, I think, in there.
Yeah.
I love Dream Theater. I love Queensryche, those kind of progressive bands. And I feel like I hear a little bit of that in the music. Is that somewhere in somebody's influence?
Robin, he plays synthesizers. He loves Dream Theater. That's his favorite band. So yeah, you're pretty spot on there. And Daniel Tiger loves Devin Townsend. A little bit progressive and will get everything. Yes. And Jan, I know, loves Catatonia. And Mats pretty much loves most metal. He's an all-eater, as you say in Sweden. And for myself, it's a little bit more into black metal with focus on melodies, at least, not just full blast all the time. That's getting tiresome even for me. So I would like to say, just like the latest album from Wormwood, Not Väsen, I think it's called. Album for the year. Me, it's really good actually. That's they include folk music a little bit as well, like violin and stuff. But otherwise, I can listen to most more extreme metal, but usually it turns to black metal.
Well, let's go back to your album for a minute. Are there any? What are your favorite songs from the Grand Antiquation? What do you like best, whether it's playing it or just knowing it's there?
I would like to say Night Spain because pretty much mostly because of the chorus. It's really fun to sing, trying to set out tones here and there in the words, and just live it's enthralling, very intense live song. You get to play in front of people. They almost hear what you say. But I would like to say that, and just Non-Dreaming Eye, Her Last Sigh, Goodbye.
Okay.
Those are my favorite songs on the album.
Okay. Well, you mentioned touring a little bit, and I guess you guys aren't touring as much as it sounds like you would like to be out on the road.
Yeah.
What's do you have plans for more touring, or what's your take on that?
We have mostly just ideas. We did a very short mini tour to Spain a couple of years ago, and that really united the band. And it was just 4 days, but still, it was something we felt right away. We want to do it again. But then again, we are all 5 of us have children. Some of us are married, and the whole family thing and work, of course, makes it more difficult, and you have to be more. The thought process around the tour needs to be more worked out, and it's hard to get things to work out with vacation days and because still we can't take an economic loss when we tour because of we have houses and bills to pay.
Maybe it seems to me like Meadows End would be perfect for some of the bigger metal festivals happening across Europe. I know there are some really great ones over there.
Yeah.
That's something you've kind of thought about too.
Yeah, exactly. But we are trying to get on bigger metal festivals in Sweden. That's it's really hard. It's hard competition, and pretty much every time we have to play for free. And we're living in the northern part of Sweden, so it's a long distance for us to go to the bigger festivals like Sweden Rock and yeah, and just gigs in Gothenburg or Stockholm. So, but we would love to do a mini tour again in Spain or Germany, perhaps, because I think Germany is a country that really likes melodic death. Other metal genres, but yeah.
So, for me, again, there's just something about the band that I liked, and it goes against the other styles that I normally listen to. Do you find that kind of a reception from other people? Like, wow, I never really listened to death metal before, and then I heard you guys. Is that something you've heard before?
Yeah, it's pretty common, but the most thing is I don't usually listen to growl, but
Yeah.
we fit into that category. But usually it's two camps that I like the music, but I don't like the growl, or the other camp is that I like the growl, but the music is too soft. So we're like in between those two. That's what we hear mostly. But then again, we have gotten really good reviews most of our albums, and generally just really good response. So, but usually when there's a pure death metal festival kind of stuff, they think we're too soft, or just a regular festival we're too hard, too extreme, you might say. So we are pretty much in the middle, and yeah, that's the usual response. But people tend to like us anyway. But yeah,
Is that where the I guess the melodic death metal comes in? When people say melodic death metal, it's like it's different from, I don't know. I've noticed that term being used
yeah,
for other things as well.
yeah. It's a whole movement that started out in like '95, I think, or earlier than that, but really started to get big in '95, and it got separated from death metal puritans, we might say. So, but it's a gateway to harder stuff, harder metal as well. And that's a good thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Well, it certainly has been for me, because I've started listening to a couple more bands now. It's like almost like I'm developing an ear for the growl a little bit now. You know, I hear a band and I'll say, "Wow, I never would have liked that before, but now I think some of that's for me." You know.
Yeah. Okay. Good to hear. All right.
So, another quick question here, kind of related to the album. I love the album cover, the art there too. Where did that come from?
Um, we wanted to continue the angel theme, but evolve it and give it a little bit more with thought behind it. The say the difference between good and evil doesn't always have to be such a big difference, kind of thing, and that's what he who made the cover thought about and did his approach to it. I guess turns out really good. Very grateful.
I like it. I love this cover. It's really, I think for me, one of the most striking covers of any of the bands recently. But I also love the Sojourn cover as well. It's Is it the same artist who's doing this work?
No. It's an old friend of Johan, who worked as a graphic artist, kind of. Did our first as well. 3 first albums,
Okay.
but he sadly passed away.
Oh,
Third, so that was a hard thing, and we forwarded his last album to him as well. So that was a sad part because we really wanted to continue elaborate with him, but he had a bit of a process in the beginning. We asked to do our next cover, and what will it be about? It took a couple of months really to figure it out, but in the end, I'm really happy it turns out to be the guy who did it. I don't remember his name, sadly enough, but turns out really good. And we thought about it in the process that needs to be something that you can put on t-shirts that will sell as well. Not it doesn't have to be something cluttery and hard to see. It should be pretty straight on, see what it is and what it pretty much stands for, and get your own idea what it stands for as well.
Just I think two more little questions here. One, Black Lion Records. How have you been with them from the beginning, or?
No, it's just the last album.
Okay.
Contacted. Been a really good communication. The owner, and he's been there since the beginning. It's a smaller label, and we understand things might take longer because of the economics and stuff. But as long as there's a good communication and a nice approach to things, he's not difficult to talk with. He understands our problems, and we understand what can bring up. We understand what can be difficult to do, like printing vinyl records. That's a big cost, for instance. But it was pretty much a dream come true when he said we will be able to print at least 300. And I'm very happy that he pushed the label forward too as well by making that decision. So we're really happy with Black Lion, and hopefully we can continue our collaboration.
Well, that's another thing. Meadows End kind of led me to Black Lion, and I've started exploring more of the bands on the label, and I found that I like more than I thought I would. So I definitely appreciate Black Lion for what they do as well. Last thing I want to talk about is, I guess, what's next for Meadows End? What are you guys thinking about? I know you just put out the album this year, but thinking ahead.
We're trying to get at least some festival gigs this summer in Sweden, but we're open to pretty much everything. But I guess the next step for us is to see where we're at. Are we at the same level? Do we want to take the next step, or just continue the way we've been doing? It's hard as we're getting older that the commitments appears elsewhere as well, and that's totally understandable. But we're still love making music and love playing live on the right occasions, that is. But we're just trying to see what the next step is. We don't really know quite just yet, but we're really happy about the album, how it turned out, and the response. That is really what keeps us going, I guess. But we'll see. We haven't really figured out yet what to do, but we want to keep on doing it.
Good. I hope you do. Again, I really love this album. It's one of my favorite albums of the year. I'm going to go ahead and include all kinds of links in this video so people can find the album and find you guys, and hopefully check you out and keep tabs on what you're doing in the future.
Yeah, and thank you for your great reviews at your videos as well. It was heartwarming to see, actually. So thank you very much for everything, and thank you for letting me do this interview. I haven't done an interview in 2 years, I think, so it was my time to do it, I guess, from But the other guys in the band said it was time for the frontman to actually do an interview as well.
Nice. All right. Again, I appreciate it. Meadows End, everybody go check them out. I'll leave my links below for you to check out Meadows End, and we will see you later.